Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going on a deep dive. It's all about this really cool intersection of art, agriculture, and these awesome local businesses we have right here in Rhode Island.
Okay, cool.
We're heading over to Exeter, Exeter,
We do.
to meet the people at Solid Rock Homestead. It's this family farm with a story that's seriously like as rich and interesting as their soil. I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah,
We'll also be looking at how their work connects with Made from RI. You familiar with them?
I am, yeah.
They're an organization that's totally dedicated to like spotlighting the coolest creators Rhode Island has.
Yeah, and what really grabs me about Solid Rock Homestead is that they embody this idea of being really rooted, you know?
Yeah.
They're not just growing heritage corn, which is cool in itself.
Uh-huh.
They're working to cultivate this deep connection to the land, to their family traditions, and even to their faith.
Wow.
All of that is wrapped up in this poem we found called Corn from the Solid Rock. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, that poem really got to me too, especially the way it uses that phrase solid rock as like a symbol. You know what I mean? It's like it represents way more than just the physical land.
For sure.
Yeah.
Solid rock in that poem points to their values, their commitment to sustainable farming, which never wavers, and that deep-rooted faith we were talking about. It's like the bedrock that their whole life is built on. And if you look closer at the types of corn they name in the poem, like Longfellow corn and glass gem corn,
Yeah.
you see this really amazing blend of honoring the past while being super open to new and vibrant possibilities. It's a cool mix.
It's like they're saying we're grounded in all this tradition, but we're also always growing toward a brighter future. And that's where Made from RI comes in.
Right.
They've got this really fantastic online platform.
Yeah.
It's like a virtual farmer's market, but for like all things Rhode Island, you know?
Yeah.
But they're doing even more than just selling these awesome products. They're telling stories. And Solid Rock Homestead story is one of them.
You know, Made from RI is like this crucial link between these super passionate creators and people like us who are always looking for something special and unique, you know?
Totally.
And they even have this gallery space on their website that features Solid Rock Homestead. And they've got the poem there, too, along with some incredible photos.
Wow.
It's like you could step right into the farm's world and experience how dedicated they are firsthand.
I'm picturing it right now. Like they've built a place where art and agriculture just totally collide.
You do?
I love that. But we got to talk about the cornmeal itself, right?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that's what ends up on our tables.
Right.
What makes these special heritage varieties so different from what we see at the supermarket?
Okay, so that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Solid Rock Homestead has this whole range of cornmeal, and each one has its own distinct character, which is really cool.
Wow.
So, for instance, they had this grits blend of flint cornmeal. Now, flint corn, that's known for having these super hard kernels, almost like little rocks. And that creates a coarser grind, which is perfect if you want to make grits or cornbread. It gives you this really incredible, rich flavor that's just so satisfying. Really hits the spot. And they also have Longfellow yellow flint cornmeal.
Yeah.
Right? Seems like a bit of a nod to their love of literature, going back to that poem we were just talking about.
Yeah, for sure. It feels like they've woven that thread of history and poetry through their whole operation. From the pone right down to the cornmeal itself. It's really neat.
Exactly. And Longfellow yellow flint, that's another one that's super versatile. A lot of people like it.
Yeah.
And it's got a rich history going all the way back to Native American and colonial times.
Wow.
It's like a bridge between then and now.
Yeah.
And then there's the Hopi Blue Flint cornmeal. Now, this one is seriously a pop of color and flavor.
Oh.
I mean, it's just visually stunning, first of all. And it adds this unique earthy taste to whatever you're making. It's really special.
Wait, blue cornmeal? I gotta be honest, I've never even seen that before. Yeah. How did something that the Hopi people traditionally grew end up all the way over here in Rhode Island?
Well, it's a pretty fascinating story. Really speaks to how adaptable these heritage grains are. And it shows how dedicated farmers like the folks at Solid Rock Homestead really are. They're not just growing corn. They're working hard to preserve this incredible biodiversity.
Right.
And they're keeping these ancient food traditions alive.
It's incredible. And we can't forget the Rhode Island classic, right?
You mean Johnny Cakes?
Johnny Cake white cornmeal. I bet they wouldn't let us leave without talking about that one.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
Johnny Cakes, they're like a beloved piece of Rhode Island's food history.
They are, yeah.
And the cornmeal solid rock it's milled specifically for making these thin and crispy, slightly sweet pancakes. It's a taste of history that you can make right in your own kitchen.
That's awesome.
It is, yeah.
It's pretty amazing how, like, a simple ingredient, cornmeal, can hold so much history and cultural significance, you know?
Yeah, it is.
But it's not just about the past, is it?
Not at all.
I mean, these heritage varieties are also helping to build a more sustainable future for farming.
Yeah, you're totally right. One of the things that drew me to Solid Rock Homestead in the first place was how committed they are to preserving these heirloom varieties. These aren't just crops, you know?
Right.
They're living links to our agricultural heritage.
Yeah.
Each one has unique genetic traits that can help us build more resilient and diverse food systems.
So it's about way more than just the flavor, right?
Yeah.
It's about protecting that biodiversity.
Exactly.
And creating this stronger and more robust agricultural landscape.
Precisely. Industrial agriculture, it's really narrowed our food base.
Yeah.
Focusing on just a few, like, high-yield varieties.
Right.
But heritage grains, like the ones Solid Rock grows, they offer this huge amount of genetic diversity.
Mm-hmm.
And that can help us adapt to climate change, resist pests and diseases, and even improve the health of the soil.
It sounds like they're planting seeds for a more resilient future, both literally and figuratively.
That's a great way to put it. And Made from Our Eye, they're helping spread that message.
Yeah.
By connecting Solid Rock with a wider audience. You know,
Yeah.
They're not just selling cornmeal, they're promoting a whole way of life.
Right.
A commitment to sustainability and local sourcing.
You know, I was checking out the Made from Our Eye website.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed by how many different products they have.
It's pretty impressive.
It's like they've put together this awesome collection of Rhode Island's best creativity all in one place.
They have everything. Handcrafted jewelry, artisan soaps, locally roasted coffee,
Yeah.
even small batch hot sauce.
Wow.
They even have furniture makers and clothing designers.
Right.
It's like this online showcase of Rhode Island's entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah. Makes you realize how much talent and creativity we have hidden away in these small businesses, just waiting for people to discover them.
Right.
And Made from Our Eye is giving them a stage to shine.
Totally. They're like a vital incubator for small businesses,
Yeah.
helping them reach more people, connect with customers who care about quality, craftsmanship, and local sourcing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a model that's becoming more and more popular as people start looking for authentic experiences and wanting to support businesses that share their values.
I think there's also this growing awareness about the impact our choices have on the environment and on our communities.
Yeah, definitely.
People are realizing that buying local isn't just some trendy thing to do. It's a way to build a more sustainable and equitable future.
Totally. When you buy from a local business like Solid Rock, or through a platform like Made from Our Eye, you're not just buying a product, you're investing in a community.
Yeah.
You're supporting farmers who care for the land.
Yeah.
Artisans who are keeping these traditional crafts alive, and entrepreneurs who are creating jobs and bringing economic vitality to their communities.
It's like this ripple effect, right?
It is.
Each purchase becomes a vote for a more sustainable and vibrant local economy.
And it helps to preserve those unique traditions and flavors that make a place special.
Exactly.
What I find so inspiring about Made from Our Eye is that they're not just showcasing products, they're telling the stories behind them. They're connecting you, the consumer, with the people who make the stuff you buy.
Yeah.
It creates a sense of community, like you're all working together towards a shared goal.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, hey, this isn't just a bag of cornmeal or a scarf someone made by hand. There's a whole story here. There's passion. There's a connection to this place.
Right.
And once you know that story, the product becomes so much more meaningful.
Yeah. It turns a simple purchase into something more, an act of connection and support.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. It reminds us that we're all part of a bigger ecosystem, and our choices really do matter.
You know, this whole deep dive has really opened my eyes to how everything is connected, from the soil to the seed to the final product, and the people who make it all happen.
It is pretty incredible.
I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this movement towards supporting local businesses and sustainable practices? Is it just a passing trend? Or is there something more to it, like a deeper shift in how we think?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think it's more than just a trend. I think it shows a growing desire for authenticity, for connection, for a way of life that feels more in line with what people believe in.
Yeah.
People are starting to realize that their choices have power, and they're looking for businesses and products that reflect that.
It's like we're rediscovering the importance of community and the power of supporting the people who are creating a more sustainable and equitable future.
Absolutely. And it's happening from the ground up. One purchase, one connection, one conversation at a time. And platforms like Made from RI are so important. They're amplifying those voices and connecting all the dots.
It's wild how we started with just a poem about corn and ended up talking about this whole movement of conscious consumerism.
Yeah.
Like, we're peeling back the layers of an onion. Every layer reveals something new and interesting. But let's circle back to the main attraction, that incredible cornmeal from Solid Rock Homestead. What makes each of those heritage varieties so unique? I mean, what sets them apart?
You know, that's what I really love about these heritage greens.
Yeah.
They're like these tiny time capsules, each one holding a story where it came from, how it traveled through history, and the people who grew it along the way.
Right.
Like take the grits blend of Flint cornmeal, for example. Flint corn is famous for its kernels.
Yeah.
Super hard, almost like little
Oh,
stones.
so that's why they call it flint corn. I always wondered about that.
Exactly. And those hard kernels make a coarser grind. And that's what gives you that amazing texture and that strong, robust flavor that's just perfect for grits and cornbread. It's a taste that's both hearty and satisfying, really connected to our agricultural roots.
I love it. And they also have the Longfellow yellow flit cornmeal, too. It seems like they've woven this thread of history and literature through everything they do, from the poem we talked about earlier to the cornmeal itself.
It's a pretty beautiful connection, isn't it? Longfellow yellow flint is a really versatile variety. A lot of people like it. It's known for its flavor and the way it ties back to both Native American and colonial history.
Wow, that's fascinating. You know, out of all the varieties they offer, the Hopi Blue Flint cornmeal is the one that I'm most curious about. Blue cornmeal, it's just so different. It's like this little piece of culinary magic.
It definitely grabs your attention, and the flavor is unique too. It has this earthy, kind of sweet taste that adds something really special to whatever you make. And when you think about where it comes from, grown for centuries by the Hopi people in the Southwest, it becomes even more incredible.
It really makes you realize that food is more than just fuel, you know?
Yeah.
It's this deep connection to culture and history, to the very land itself. It's like a story unfolding right there on your plate.
I love that. Beautifully put. And while we're talking about stories, we can't leave out that Rhode Island classic.
Oh, yeah, the Johnny Cakes.
Johnny Cake white cornmeal. Those thin, crispy pancakes, they're pure Rhode Island tradition. And Solid Rock's cornmeal is milled specifically for them.
I can practically taste them right now. A little bit of sweetness, a dash of salt, maybe some butter. It's such simple food, but it's packed with flavor and tradition. Makes you think about all the generations who've enjoyed those same flavors, sitting around the table, sharing stories and making memories.
That's what's so amazing about food, right?
Yeah.
It has this incredible power to connect us across time and space, reminding us of our shared humanity and our connection to the earth. And businesses like Solid Rock Homestead and Made from RI are helping to keep those traditions strong, showing us that food is more than just something you buy at the store. It's a story, a celebration, a link to something bigger than ourselves.
This deep dive has been such a treat. It's really opened my eyes and left me feeling inspired.
Me too. It's a great reminder that our choices really matter, that we can support the kind of world we want to see just by deciding where we spend our money. A world where small farms flourish, where those special heritage varieties are protected, and where local businesses connect us to the heart of our communities.
So as you go about your day, think about the choices you're making. What you eat, where you shop. Every purchase is a chance to help create a more sustainable, equitable, and delicious world.
And remember, even small things can make a big difference. So enjoy every bite, appreciate the stories behind your food, and support the people who are working hard to make the future brighter for everyone.
Thanks for joining us today on this deep dive into Solid Rock Homestead, Made from RI, and the power of choosing where you spend your money. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and enjoy every bite.